Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you a simple question. If someone asks you, can you tell me about your life in English? Will you answer confidently, or will you become silent after just one or two sentences? Most English learners think they need more grammar or more vocabulary before they can speak. But what if I tell you that the secret to speaking English fluently has been with you your entire life? In today's video, I will show you a simple step-by-step method to speak about your life in English naturally, confidently, and easily, even if you are an absolute beginner. So stay with me until the very end, because in the final chapter, I will share a powerful daily speaking system that can completely change the way you practice English forever. Chapter 1. I want to begin this chapter with a simple story. There was a young man named Bilal who dreamed of speaking English fluently. Every day he studied grammar. He memorized hundreds of vocabulary words. He watched English videos for hours. He even wrote difficult sentences in his notebook and tried to remember them. Whenever he opened an English book, he felt that he was learning something new. His teachers were happy with his progress because he always scored good marks in tests. But one day, something unexpected happened. A tourist visited his city and smiled at him. The tourist asked a very simple question. Can you tell me about your life? Bilal was shocked. He knew the meaning of every word in the question, but he could not answer. His mind suddenly became empty. He wanted to speak, but no words came out. After a few seconds, he simply smiled and said, "Sorry, my English is not good." Later that day, he felt disappointed. He kept asking himself one question. Why can I understand English but not speak it? Maybe this story sounds familiar to you. Maybe you have experienced the same situation. Many English learners know grammar rules. They know vocabulary. They understand English videos. They can even read books and articles. But when someone asks them to speak about their own life, they become silent. The reason is very simple. They spend too much time learning English, but very little time using English. They memorize sentences that they never use in real life. They practice topics that have nothing to do with their daily conversations. That is why speaking feels difficult. Today, I want to share something that can completely change the way you practice English. The easiest topic in the world is your own life. Think about it for a moment. Nobody knows your life better than you do. You already know your name. You already know your family. You already know your hometown, your hobbies, your dreams, your favorite food, your daily routine, your studies, your work, your friends, and your future plans. This means you already have unlimited ideas to practice speaking English every single day. You do not need to search for interesting topics on the internet. You do not need to memorize long speeches. Your own life gives you everything you need. Let us start with something very simple. Imagine someone asks, "What is your name?" You can answer, "My name is Ali." Then they ask, "Where do you live?" You can say, "I live in Karachi." They ask, "What do you do?" You can answer, "I am a student," or "I work in a shop." Then they ask about your hobbies. You can say, "I enjoy playing cricket," or "I like reading books." These are very short sentences, but they are real. Real English is always more useful than complicated English that you never use. Many beginners believe they must learn thousands of words before they can speak confidently. This is not true. A child does not wait to learn every word before speaking. A child starts with simple words and simple sentences. Day after day, those simple sentences become longer. You can learn English in exactly the same way. Start with what you already know. Talk about yourself. Talk about your family. Talk about your daily activities. Talk about what you did yesterday and what you will do tomorrow. Every sentence you speak makes you a little stronger. Every mistake teaches you something new. Do not be afraid of making mistakes because mistakes are part of learning. Nobody becomes fluent without making them. Let me ask you another question. When you are alone, what do you usually think about? Most people think about their plans, their family, their work, their studies, or something that happened during the day. These are the same topics you can practice in English. If you wake up in the morning, you can say, "Today I will go to school." If you are eating dinner, you can say, "I am eating rice and chicken." If you are walking outside, you can say, "The weather is nice today." These simple habits slowly train your brain to think in English. The more you connect English with your real life, the more natural speaking becomes. Remember, fluency is not built by memorizing difficult speeches. Fluency is built by talking about simple things again and again until they become natural. Your life is full of stories. Every memory, every dream, every challenge, and every success can become English practice. So, from today, stop thinking that you have nothing to say. You already have the best speaking topic in the world. It is your own life. And in the next chapter, I will show you a very simple step-by-step formula that will help you speak about every part of your life in English with confidence, even if you are just starting your English journey. Chapter 2. Now that you understand why your own life is the best topic for speaking English, let me show you exactly how to talk about your life in a simple and natural way. The good news is that you do not need difficult grammar. You do not need advanced vocabulary. You do not need to memorize long speeches. You only need a simple plan. Many English learners become nervous because they try to think about everything at the same time. They ask themselves, what should I say first? What should I say next? Because they have no clear order, they become confused and stop speaking. But today, that problem will disappear. I want you to imagine that your life is like a book. Every book has different chapters, and your life also has different parts. If you speak about one part at a time, speaking becomes much easier. Let us begin with the first part. Talk about yourself. You can say, "My name is Ali. I am 22 years old. I live in Karachi. I am a university student." These are very simple sentences, but they tell people who you are. After that, move to the second part and talk about your family. For example, you can say, "I live with my parents. I have one brother and one sister. My father is a businessman. My mother is a teacher. We enjoy spending time together." Notice that every sentence is short and easy to understand. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are simply sharing your life. Next, talk about your studies or your work. If you are a student, you can say, I study at a college. My favorite subject is English. I enjoy learning new words every day. If you have a job, you can say, I work in an office. I start work at 9 o'clock. I enjoy helping people. Again, these are ordinary sentences, but they are useful because they describe your real life. Now let us move to your hobbies. This is one of the easiest topics because everyone enjoys doing something in their free time. You can say, I like playing cricket. I enjoy watching movies. I love reading books. Sometimes I listen to music. On weekends, I spend time with my friends. Every hobby gives you another opportunity to speak English. After hobbies, you can talk about your daily routine. This is one of the best exercises for beginners because you already know what you do every day. You can say, I wake up at 7 o'clock. I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast. Then I go to work. In the evening, I come home and practice English. Before sleeping, I read a few pages of a book. These simple sentences help your brain become comfortable with speaking English because you are describing real actions that happen every day. Now let me tell you about a learner named Omar. When Omar first started speaking English, he could only introduce himself. After that, he had nothing more to say. He believed that he needed thousands of new words before he could have a conversation. One day, his teacher gave him very simple advice. The teacher said, do not try to speak about everything. Speak about one part of your life at a time. Omar followed that advice. On the first day, he talked only about himself. On the second day, he talked about his family. On the third day, he talked about his daily routine. Then he spoke about his hobbies, his favorite food, his school, and his dreams. Slowly, he noticed something surprising. His confidence started growing. He no longer became silent after 1 minute because he always knew what topic would come next. That simple plan completely changed his speaking. You can do exactly the same. There is another important lesson that many beginners forget. Do not stop after one sentence. Always ask yourself a simple question. Why? For example, instead of saying, I like football, ask yourself, why do I like football? Then answer, because it is exciting. Next ask, who do I play with? Then answer, I play with my friends every Sunday. Ask, when did I start playing? Then answer, I started playing when I was 10 years old. Can you see what happened? One short sentence became a complete conversation. This is how fluent speakers continue talking. They simply add more information little by little. You do not need difficult words to do this. You only need curiosity about your own life. Every answer creates another question, and every question gives you another chance to practice English. Remember, your goal is not to speak perfect English. Your goal is to communicate your ideas clearly. If you make a small grammar mistake, do not stop. Keep speaking. Every sentence you finish makes you stronger. Every minute of practice makes you more confident. So starting today, divide your life into small topics. Talk about yourself. Talk about your family. Talk about your work or studies. Talk about your hobbies. Talk about your daily routine. Talk about your dreams and your future. Practice one topic every day until speaking becomes natural. And in the next chapter, I will show you how to turn these simple sentences into interesting stories that make your English sound more natural and help you speak for a much longer time without feeling lost. Chapter 3. Now that you know how to organize your thoughts and talk about different parts of your life, let me show you something that can make your English sound much more natural. Many English learners believe that fluent speakers always use difficult vocabulary and long sentences, but this is not true. The biggest difference between beginners and fluent speakers is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is the ability to tell simple stories. Every person has stories. You have stories. I have stories. The people around you have stories. Your childhood is full of stories. Your school life is full of stories. Even yesterday can become an interesting story. The problem is that many learners only speak in short sentences. They say, I like football. I am a student. I live in Lahore. These sentences are correct, but the conversation ends very quickly. The good news is that you can easily change one simple sentence into a short story. Let me explain how. Imagine someone asks you, what is your favorite hobby? Most beginners answer, my favorite hobby is cricket. Then they stop speaking. Instead, you can continue by adding a few simple details. You can say, my favorite hobby is cricket. I started playing cricket when I was a child. My friends and I play every Sunday. I enjoy it because it makes me happy and healthy. One day I hope to play in a local tournament. Can you see the difference? You are still using easy English, but now you are sharing a story instead of only one sentence. Let me tell you about a learner named Hamza. When Hamza first started learning English, he could answer simple questions, but every conversation ended after 1 minute. One day, his teacher gave him very simple advice. The teacher said, do not only answer the question, tell the story behind the answer. At first, Hamza did not understand what his teacher meant. Then he started practicing every evening. If someone asked him about his favorite food, he did not only say, I like biryani. He added, my mother cooks delicious biryani every Friday. My whole family eats together. It is my favorite meal because we spend time together and enjoy talking. If someone asked him about his school, he said, I study at a college near my home. My favorite subject is English because I want to speak with people from different countries. My teachers always encourage me to keep learning. Slowly, Hamza noticed something amazing. People listened to him for a longer time because he was sharing real experiences. His English became more natural because he was speaking from his own life instead of trying to remember memorized sentences. You can do exactly the same. Think about your childhood for a moment. Where did you grow up? Who were your best friends? What games did you play? What was your favorite subject at school? Every answer can become a beautiful English story. For example, you can say, when I was a child, I lived in a small village. Every evening I played football with my friends until sunset. Sometimes we came home tired, but we were always happy. Those are some of my favorite memories. Notice that none of these sentences are difficult. They are simple, clear, and easy to remember because they come from your real life. You can also talk about your daily experiences. Suppose someone asks, "What did you do yesterday?" Instead of saying, "I stayed at home," you can continue. "Yesterday I stayed at home because it was raining. I watched an English video, practiced new words, and helped my family. In the evening, I read a short English story before going to bed." One simple answer becomes a complete conversation. This is exactly how your speaking improves. There is another simple trick that can help you speak longer. Always ask yourself 3 questions after every sentence. What happened? Why did it happen? How did I feel? For example, you say, "I visited my grandparents." Then ask yourself, "What happened there?" You answer, "We had lunch together and talked for a long time." Next ask, "Why did I visit them?" You answer, "Because I wanted to spend time with my family." Finally ask, "How did I feel?" You answer, "I felt happy because we laughed together." Without realizing it, you have spoken for almost 1 minute using only simple English. This method works with every topic. It works when you talk about school, work, hobbies, vacations, family, or future dreams. Remember, people enjoy listening to stories because stories have feelings, experiences, and lessons. Your life is already full of these things. You do not need to invent anything. Simply share what really happened. If you forget a word, do not stop speaking. Use another simple word. If you make a grammar mistake, continue talking. Your goal is communication, not perfection. Every story you tell makes you more confident. Every memory you describe helps your brain think in English.
Every conversation becomes easier than the one before. So, starting today, stop giving one-sentence answers. Turn every answer into a short story. Add a few details. Explain what happened, why it happened, and how you felt. Little by little, your English will become smoother, more natural, and more confident. And in the next chapter, I will show you how to overcome the fear of speaking English, because many learners know exactly what they want to say, but fear stops them from opening their mouth. Once you learn how to control that fear, speaking English will become much easier than you ever imagined. Chapter 4. Now, I want to talk about something that stops millions of English learners from speaking. It is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is fear. Many people know enough English to have a simple conversation, but they never open their mouth because they are afraid of making mistakes. They worry that someone will laugh at them. They worry that they will forget words. They worry that their pronunciation will not sound good. Because of these fears, they choose to remain silent. But the more they stay silent, the more difficult speaking becomes. Let me tell you about a young learner named Ahsan. Ahsan had been learning English for almost 4 years. Every day he watched English videos. He listened to podcasts. He learned new vocabulary. He even understood many English conversations without much difficulty. His teachers believed he was one of the best students in the class. One afternoon, his teacher invited a guest from another country to speak with the students. The guest smiled at Ahsan and asked a very simple question. "Can you tell me about your hobbies?" Ahsan knew exactly what he wanted to say. He wanted to explain that he enjoyed reading books, playing cricket, and learning English. But suddenly his heart started beating faster. His hands became cold. His mind became completely empty. He forgot even the easiest words. After a long silence, he simply smiled and said, "Sorry, my English is weak." Later that evening, Ahsan felt very disappointed. He kept thinking about that moment again and again. Then his teacher gave him one piece of advice that changed everything. The teacher said, "You are not afraid of English. You are afraid of making mistakes." Those words completely changed the way Ahsan thought about learning. He finally understood that mistakes were not his enemy. They were his teachers. Think about a small child learning to speak. Does the child speak perfectly from the first day? Of course not. Children make hundreds of mistakes. They pronounce words incorrectly. They use the wrong grammar. Sometimes they even invent their own words. But nobody tells them to stop speaking. Instead, they continue practicing every day, and little by little they become fluent. Learning English works exactly the same way. Every mistake teaches you something new. Every conversation makes you a little stronger than yesterday. Remember this important sentence. Communication is more important than perfection. If people understand your message, then you have already succeeded. You do not need perfect grammar to communicate. You only need the courage to speak. Now let me share 3 simple exercises that can help you become more confident. The first exercise is mirror speaking. Stand in front of a mirror for 5 minutes every day. Look at yourself and begin speaking in English. You can say, "My name is Ahmed. Today I feel happy. I am going to practice English. I want to improve my speaking." At first, it may feel a little strange. That is completely normal. But after a few days, you will notice that speaking becomes easier because you are becoming comfortable with your own voice. The second exercise is voice recording. Take out your phone and record yourself speaking for 3 to 5 minutes. Talk about your family, your studies, your work, your hobbies, or what happened during your day. When you finish, listen to your recording carefully. At first, you may notice many mistakes. Do not become discouraged. Instead, smile, because every mistake shows you exactly what you should practice next. If you record yourself every day for 1 week, you will hear clear improvement. Your pauses will become shorter. Your sentences will become smoother. Most importantly, your confidence will begin to grow. The third exercise is very simple but very powerful. Before you go to bed every night, spend a few minutes talking about your day in English. You can say, "Today, I woke up early. I had breakfast with my family. I went to work. In the evening, I watched an English lesson and learned 5 new words." This daily habit teaches your brain to think in English using real experiences instead of memorized sentences. Slowly, English becomes part of your everyday life. There is one more thing I want you to remember. Never compare yourself with someone who has been learning English for 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If today you can speak one more sentence than yesterday, you are making progress. If today you understand one more word than yesterday, you are improving. Success is built through small daily improvements, not through one big change. Every fluent English speaker you admire once struggled with simple sentences. They also forgot words. They also made grammar mistakes. The difference is that they never stopped practicing. They accepted mistakes as part of the journey and continued moving forward. You can do the same. Believe in yourself. Speak even when you feel nervous. Speak even when you are not perfect. Every time you speak, your fear becomes smaller and your confidence becomes stronger. One day you will look back and realize that the fear which once stopped you has completely disappeared. And in the next chapter, I will show you a simple 10-minute daily speaking routine that you can follow anywhere and anytime. This easy routine can help you build the habit of speaking English every single day and make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. Chapter 5. Now, I want to give you something that can completely change the way you practice English every day. Many learners spend years searching for the perfect book, the perfect course, or the perfect teacher. They believe that one day they will find a secret method that will suddenly make them fluent. But the truth is much simpler than that. Fluency is not built in one day. It is built one small step at a time. The good news is that you do not need hours of free time every day. You only need a simple daily routine that you can follow consistently. Let me tell you about a learner named Usman. When Usman first started learning English, he believed that he had to study for 3 or 4 hours every day. Some days he felt very motivated and studied for a long time. Then he became tired and stopped practicing for an entire week. After several months, he realized that he was not making much progress. One day, his English teacher asked him a simple question. "Can you give me just 10 minutes every day?" Usman smiled and said, "Only 10 minutes? That is very easy." His teacher replied, "Then forget about studying for many hours. Practice speaking for just 10 minutes every single day without missing a day." At first, Usman did not believe that such a short practice could make a difference, but he decided to try it. Every morning after waking up, he spent 5 minutes talking about his plans for the day. He looked at himself in the mirror and said, "Today I am going to work. I need to finish my office tasks. In the evening, I will practice English and read a short story. I hope today will be a productive day." His sentences were simple, but he spoke every day. In the evening, before going to bed, he spent another 5 minutes talking about everything that had happened during the day. He said, "Today I met my friend. We had lunch together. After work, I watched an English lesson. I learned some new vocabulary. I feel happy because I practiced speaking again today." This became his daily habit. After 1 week, he noticed that speaking was becoming a little easier. After 1 month, he noticed that he no longer stopped after every sentence. After 3 months, something amazing happened. He could speak about his life for several minutes without feeling nervous. His grammar was not perfect. His pronunciation was still improving. But he could communicate clearly, and that gave him confidence. This is exactly what can happen to you. You do not need to make your practice difficult. Keep it simple and keep it consistent. There is another habit that helped Usman improve even faster. Every Sunday, he chose one topic from his own life and spoke about it for 5 minutes. One Sunday, he talked about his childhood. Another Sunday, he talked about his family. The next week, he talked about his favorite teacher. Later, he spoke about his first job, his biggest dream, his happiest memory, his favorite holiday, and the goals he wanted to achieve in the future. Every week, he discovered that he had more ideas than he had imagined. His own life became his English classroom. You can do exactly the same. Every week, choose one simple topic. Talk about your hometown. Describe your best friend. Explain your favorite hobby. Share your happiest memory. Talk about a mistake that taught you an important lesson. Describe your future dreams. Every topic helps you learn new words naturally because you are talking about real experiences. There is one more important thing that I want you to remember. Never try to memorize a perfect speech. Instead, focus on sharing your real thoughts. Real conversations are never perfect. Sometimes you pause. Sometimes you forget a word. Sometimes you change your sentence while speaking. That is completely normal. Native speakers also do this. The goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to keep communicating. Every time you speak, your brain becomes more comfortable using English. Slowly, speaking changes from something difficult into something natural. Imagine what will happen if you follow this simple routine for 6 months. Think about how many times you will practice speaking. Think about how many stories you will tell. Think about how many new words you will learn by talking about your own life. Small daily practice creates big results. One sentence becomes 2 sentences. 2 sentences become 1 minute. 1 minute becomes 5 minutes. 5 minutes become a confident conversation. This is how fluency grows. It grows quietly through daily effort, not through magic. So, starting today, promise yourself that you will not wait for the perfect time to practice. The perfect time is today. Speak every morning. Speak every evening. Speak about your life, your memories, your family, your dreams, and your experiences. The more you use English, the more natural it becomes. Remember, every great English speaker was once a beginner who decided not to give up. You have already taken the first step by learning. Now, take the next step by speaking every single day. If you continue this simple habit with patience and consistency, one day you will surprise yourself by speaking English with confidence, and you will realize that the greatest secret was never a special course or a difficult book. The greatest secret was practicing a little every day and believing that improvement comes through consistent action. Chapter 6. Now we have reached the final chapter of this lesson. Before we finish, I want you to remember one very important thing. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It is about expressing your ideas with confidence. Throughout this video, we have learned that your own life is the best topic for speaking English. We learned how to organize your ideas, how to turn simple sentences into short stories, how to overcome the fear of making mistakes, and how to build a simple daily speaking routine. But there is one final lesson that can make a big difference in your English journey. The secret is to make English a small part of your everyday life, instead of something that you only study for a few hours each week. Let me tell you about a learner named Ibrahim. Ibrahim always believed that learning English only happened when he opened a grammar book. He studied hard, but the moment he closed the book, English disappeared from his day. He spoke his native language from morning until night. He never tried to think in English. He never described the things around him. Because of this, learning English always felt difficult. One day, his teacher gave him a very simple challenge. The teacher said, "From tomorrow, I do not want you to study more. I want you to use English more." Ibrahim did not fully understand those words at first, but he decided to follow the advice. The next morning, when he woke up, he looked around his room and quietly said, "My room is clean. The weather looks nice today. I feel excited because I am going to practice English." While eating breakfast, he described his food in English. While walking outside, he named the things he saw. He said, "There is a bus. I can see a tree. Many people are going to work." When he came home in the evening, he spoke about everything that happened during the day. These were very small activities, but something surprising happened. English slowly became part of his daily life. He was no longer waiting for the perfect time to practice, because every moment became an opportunity to speak. This is exactly what I want you to do. You do not have to wait until you find a speaking partner. You do not have to wait until you join an English course. You can begin today with the life you already have. When you wake up, describe your morning. When you travel, describe what you see. When you cook, describe the food. When you meet your friends, think about how you would describe them in English later. Every experience becomes another lesson. Every memory becomes another speaking topic. Every day gives you dozens of chances to improve. There is another habit that can help you even more. At the end of every week, spend a few minutes thinking about how much you have improved. Do not ask yourself, "Am I fluent yet?" Instead, ask yourself, "Can I speak a little better than last week?" Maybe last week you could only speak for 1 minute. This week you can speak for 2 minutes. Maybe last week you forgot many words. This week you remember a few more. These small improvements are signs that you are moving in the right direction. Never ignore them. They may seem small today, but after a few months they become big achievements. Many learners become discouraged because they expect very fast results. They practice for a few days and then wonder why they are not fluent. Remember that every skill takes time to develop. A person does not become a good driver after one lesson. A musician does not learn to play an instrument in 1 week. In the same way, speaking English improves through regular practice and patience. Every conversation teaches you something new. Every mistake makes you stronger. Every sentence you speak builds your confidence. One day you will notice that you are speaking without translating every word in your mind. Another day you will realize that you can answer simple questions without feeling nervous. Those moments may seem small, but they are proof that your hard work is paying off. Always remember that your story is valuable. Your experiences matter. Your dreams matter. Your memories matter. They are not only part of your life, they are also part of your English learning journey. Never think that your life is too ordinary to talk about, because ordinary experiences create the most natural conversations. The more you speak about your real life, the more natural your English will become. So, from today, make one simple promise to yourself. Speak English every day, even if it is only for a few minutes. Talk about your life. Share your ideas. Describe your experiences. Keep learning one step at a time. If you continue doing this with patience and consistency, you will become a more confident English speaker than you are today. Always believe in your progress. Never stop practicing. And remember that every fluent speaker was once a beginner who decided to keep going. Your English journey starts with one simple sentence, grows through daily practice, and becomes stronger every single day you choose to speak. If you enjoyed this video and learned something useful today, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future English lessons. Now, I have a small challenge for you. Go to the comments section and write 3 simple sentences about your life in English. Do not worry about making mistakes. Every fluent English speaker started with simple sentences just like these. Remember, your English does not improve when you only study it. Your English improves when you use it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.